I'm Dr. Frederick Court. I've been in practice for over 40 years, and I do primary care medicine, primarily pediatrics, and I enjoy what I do. And over the time that I've been in practice, you'll find that different information has come about. Now, one of the things that I talk about when I talk to people a lot is good health. When you talk about good health, it's not necessarily what some people think of as the absence of disease. We all know how we've gone to the doctor and you've been there. You see your doctor says, okay, I didn't find any high blood pressure. I didn't find anything that looked abnormal in your labs, and you're in good health. And you know deep down inside, you are not in good health. You know something hurts. You know something been uncomfortable. You know something is, you've gained an extra 10, 15, 20 pounds. You can't see as well as you used to be able to see. You know things are changing. But unfortunately, many of us physicians are trained to treat disease. And we actually look for the disease. If we don't find disease, we say you're in good health until we find disease. And then we say, oh, sorry, sir, you have cancer, glaucoma, cataracts, pneumonia. And so we like to give you a disease, then I can treat you for something. But I like to kind of look at it in a different way. Let's look at it as health balance. What can I do to make certain that I'm in a good balance? Because health is not static. It's not one of those things where you're here and you stay there. Every day things are going on in the environment with you, and you've got to know what you can do to help improve your status, to work with, for, and against the environment. Now, we talk about what's healthy. Prior to the pandemic, we did know that about 1/3 of the population was obese. That is over 15% of what they consider the healthy weight. Now, then they said about 1/3 of them were between ideal weight and 15%. And then only about 1/3 of the population were really in normal weight category. Now, since the pandemic, over 50% of the population is in the obese category. It has gone crazy. As a matter of fact, when you talk about health, one of the first things we always talk about is maintaining a healthy weight, a healthy diet, because we do know that obesity is associated with cancer. We know it's associated with high blood pressure, diabetes, anti-inflammatory diseases, lots of things that obesity is responsible for. So we have to make certain that can we do things to help our weight crises. Our mental health crises, unfortunately, coming out of COVID, we were all locked down for about 2 years. And people are gregarious. That is, people need to be around people. And when you took people and locked them into rooms and told them they couldn't come out and they had to wear masks, it actually messed with people's mental health. To this day, if you need mental health care, it is almost impossible to find someone because everybody is so busy because of the crises that just happened, not just in adults, but even in children. I got children who did not want to return to school because they were afraid that they were going to catch something and die. And because of that, us being locked down, nobody exercised. Ate whatever was locked up in the house with them. So these bad choices made the situation even worse. Well, the question is, as obesity is going crazy, diabetes is increased, high blood pressure, anxiety, stress, all these things have increased. What can we do to really improve our health? How can we live a healthy life? We talk about the pandemic. Yeah, it happened. And it did cause us to go into a survival mode. That is to say, people just did what they could to survive, because it is true. Over 1 million people died in this country from COVID and COVID-related illnesses. And so, yes, they have good reason to kind of hide from things. And unfortunately, they develop these bad habits. Unfortunately, these bad habits are not for your best interests. So now we got to figure out what we can do to change from these bad habits and become healthier. And one problem is that, well, actually, it's not a problem because most people know what to do. They know what good foods to shop for. They know how much water to drink. They know that exercise is important. But the issue is, are they doing it? Or are they doing anything to help improve themselves? One of the major problems of what we believe happening with diseases is now called inflammation. Inflammation is this free radicals that are created by the environment, that are created by food, that have been known and contribute to every one of the things that are listed here. Everything from cardiovascular, musculoskeletal, neurological, obesity, autoimmune, respiratory, reproductive, cancer, all these things are affected by inflammation. And when we talk about these things, you say, well, maybe I'll just stay away from everything. It's coming from UV rays from the sun. It's coming from the attacks with your mitochondria. It's coming from radiation that even comes out of the ground. So you can't get away from it. It's not something you say, I'm just going to go hide under a rock, and that's one thing that won't happen to me. Not the way to go. You've got to figure out what I can do to fight inflammation so that some of these other things we talk about can hopefully be balanced, put off, decreased. Now, what do you do to protect ourselves against inflammation? This is a major problem. We need to know that our body does try on its own. We have an immune system. And our immune system fights against inflammatory processes. It helps to improve, but sometimes the immune system actually gets overreactive and it becomes a problem for you. Antioxidants are particles that we actually know that are in the body, that our body makes, that helps to fight against free radicals, that destroy cells, that destroys DNA material. And so we want to know what we can do to change our diet, what we can do to change, to increase our ability to stay healthy. Now, a lot of times people say, well, suppose I start exercising more. Well, that helps, okay? We used to say no gain, no pain. It's not true anymore. We now don't want you to exercise to the point that you can't get out of bed the next day. First of all, you're not going to exercise the next day. That doesn't help. Second of all, you're doing more damage to your body. So the question is, how can I be consistent? How can I be realistic in my choices? Now, when I was in medical school, they used to always teach us, and they would say, if you have a well-balanced diet and exercise program, you don't need supplements or vitamins. Well, if they say that, then if you don't, you need supplements, right? Most of us don't have a well-balanced diet. Most of us don't exercise on a regular basis. So what we find is that our body isn't getting the kind of micronutrient supplements, antioxidants to help keep you healthy. And that's what we're going to talk about. How we can do to improve our metabolism, to improve our rest and sleep. Because we do know that people who don't rest well, don't sleep well, get more illnesses. And so what can we do to kind of help with that? Well, one of the things we talked about recently has been CBD. Now, CBD has a lot of different historical background information. Lots of things have been said about it from a social and a legal perspective. When we talk about CBD, the history of CBD goes back over 6,000 years. It's not something new, okay? People have known for centuries that it does help keep the body healthy in many different ways. We also know that even just from our timeline of looking at our documented histories, that some things have been important. Somewhere around 1964 is when we actually were able to identify the THC molecule, then identify the CBD molecule. So much happened that we actually started looking differently at CBD. Now, if you talk to any doctors, particularly those who finished more than about 15 years ago from medical school, you'll find that they don't want to talk about CBD or THC or anything that looks like a weed plant. Why? Because prior to the 70s, CBD, marijuana, was all in one big bubble. And it was classified as what we call a class 1 narcotic. A class 1 narcotic is like LSD. There's no reason to use LSD because we know it can destroy your chromosomes. We know that it can cause recurrent brain injury. And so they put marijuana in that same category. And that was done primarily because of a lot of legal actions that happened. Back in 1937, marijuana was in competition with some very powerful businessmen, and they actually said, hey, let's make this a bad thing so nobody will use it. Even though there had been over 6,000 years of usage, not only in this country, but around the world, and it had been helpful. And so now we find that there is some benefits in it. Prior to 2000, there was no such thing as a cannabinoid system in the body. Around 2000, scientists in Japan actually identified that there was another system. We talk about a circulatory, we talk about a skeletal, we talk about an endocrine, but there's another system called the endocannabinoid system. This system we found actually connects with other systems, connects almost like the internet connects in your life. That is, it knows where to go, it knows where to send signals, it helps to create a balance. It creates a balance in helping to fight off inflammation, stress, anxiety. The CBD was found to be one of the most helpful products that they've ever found. Now, around 2014, when the whole atmosphere of the country started changing about the use of marijuana, etc., they said, we'll make it just like any other over-the-counter non-pharmaceutical. That is, it's like vitamin D. You don't need a prescription for vitamin D. Elderberry. You don't need you don't need a prescription for elderberry. These are things that are considered herbal products that may be helpful, but most importantly, they won't cause you much harm. Now, I'll be honest with you. Anything can cause you harm. You drink enough water, you're going to die. Okay? But what we found was that CBD has what we call a very wide safety margin, which means if you drink a bottle of CBD oil, you might get a little diarrhea. But that's pretty much it. Okay. But what we found was that it has ways of actually helping our body using this endocannabinoid system. The endocannabinoid system, we found that there were receptors in your body, which we call CBD1 and CBD2. Both of these receptors actually are on your skin, they're in your heart, lungs, throughout your body. And so sometimes when you put CBD on your skin, it actually can affect balancing your body. You take it orally, it knows where to go. And so CBD is now become researched. Many of the major universities throughout this country and around the world are doing research right now on CBD, finding that it is helpful. It does have positive effects on the body. Now, when they made that change back in 2014, the pharmaceutical companies were like caught sleep. Because most of the time they want to grab everything they can and say, oh, it's a drug. We need to put a license on it. We need to make it ourselves and make certain that you get only the purest qualities. Well, it was already passed. And when it happened, only one product got caught up in that. And it actually is a seizure medication. And that seizure medication is nothing more than CBD oil. But the cost for that medication is over $1,000 for people. And so what we found was that once the pharmaceutical companies missed it, they've been complaining ever since. And you have to understand that what we're talking about here is the CBD, not just the CBD, but the whole cannabinoid system is affected not only just by CBD, but THC affects it, but there are other CBD products, cannabinoids that are involved. There's CBDG, CBDC. There are also flavonoids that are involved. All of these actually are herbal products that actually help create a balance in your system. This is why many people are now much more excited about the use of CBD and how it's can be helpful in your body. This is why there are more and more research is being done about CBD. And so this is what we're looking at, and this is why we find that our use of the products here has been very instrumental. What have we done? We've taken some of the top product lines and kind of looked at how we can really provide you with products that can be helpful and healthy to you and your family. We know that the health benefits ranging from stomach, eye cancer, all of these are health benefits. And we know that CBD helps your body protect itself against these things. Now, I'm not saying this is a treatment. No, it's not a treatment. It actually is a balance. Because most folks will tell you that we don't really give you anything that really treats you. It actually helps your body to fight and rebuild itself. We don't give you a medication and say, oh, this is the cure. No, this helps to create a balance in your body where your body can recover. Because the body that does not fight back cannot be cured. And so that's what we're looking at. That's what this CBD is actually able to do to help prevent that. Let me start off the top of the scale. Top of the scale, I would talk about our tinctures. Our tinctures, some people refer to them as oils, but it's basically our CBD pure. Now, oftentimes we talk about CBD, we actually talk about either the pure CBD or the broad spectrum. Pure CBD means that we've actually gone to the lab, taken our hemp plant, which is our major plant that we use, and we're able to actually extract out just the CBD. And by doing that, we're able to give you a much purer quality of just CBD. And that's why it says isolate hemp. But this has really 33 milligrams of pure isolate of CBD in each milliliter of dosage there. Okay. Now, we make certain that all our products are built and certified, made in certified labs. We have independent lab evaluations on our products. And we make certain they're made in the United States in labs, not in people's homes. So you see our MCT oil is very important because MCT oil, I actually give it to babies. Lots of times babies who are having problems with digestion, being able to get enough nutrients in their body, being able to absorb things, we actually give them MCT oil. So we have MCT oil along with the CBD. Now, people will tell you that CBD has a very bad taste to it, and that's the only way you can get it. It's not true. We actually have, this one is our pina colada flavored. It doesn't give you that bad aftertaste. It doesn't have that earthy taste to it. We actually have a nice tasting CBD. Now I mentioned over there the isolate, and this is our full spectrum. Our full spectrum, we take an entire hemp plant and we give you that, which means it has more terpenes and more flavonoids in it, which means that sometimes we find that there is what we call a synergistic effect. That is, CBD is helpful, but you know how it is. Nature actually puts together things that work together. And so we've actually have with the full spectrum, a combination of the CBD, other CBDs, other cannabinoids along with it, it create this positive effect. Now, in doing that, some folks will say, oh, wait a minute, I hear you say THC. Yes, there is a small amount of THC, but the amount of THC is less than 0.3%, which means that even in a drug test, it won't show up positive. It doesn't create a problem for you. I personally take the full strength, the broad spectrum one, but there are people who may have jobs that says you can't take any kind of THC. That's not a problem. Stick with our isolate. But the one that actually has a full spectrum is this one here. Okay. Now, right now, we got this run on gummies. People just love a gummy. I don't know why, but they really love them. I don't think our dentists like them, but they're good. So what we've done is actually taken CBD and put it in a gummy form. In this gummy form, it actually is easy to take, easy to sort of ingest. And so one of our gummies actually has in it the isolate. This is our immune gummy, which actually has our isolate 30 milligrams, which is just like we said, a dropper full of the tincture was. It has black elderberry, which is a very good immune boosting herb product. Vitamin C and vitamin D are known for helping to strengthen your immune system. Citrate, you've ever had a cold and people say, go get a zinc pill? Yeah, you know why? Zinc helps your immune system. So we put positive products in here to help you have a more healthy immune system. Remember we talked about all those antioxidants and things? Hey, this is what helps your body fight off the radicals, okay? Now, we have another gummies called our energy. Because you know how it is. Some people get up in the morning and have to have a cup of coffee, or some people in the middle of the day find themselves sort of running out of energy, or you're the person that got that night job or just that evening work that you just can't quite get it going. Well, we have a combination of the isolate CBD, again, a green coffee bean extract, and our granera and B12. All of these help increase your energy in your body. And so this gummy helps very well with your energy. And the last one I want to talk about in my gummy category, which is probably one that is one of our best sellers, sleep. I'm surprised there's a number of people that can't sleep. I sleep like a baby. But lots of people find that they can't sleep. And if you can't sleep, it is hard to be functional the next day. As a matter of fact, if you've known anyone who has sleep apnea, and they go and get a CPAP machine and start using it, the first person who talks about it is their significant other. Because if you get a good night's sleep, you wake up with a better attitude. And so folks who use CPAP machines usually are better acting people because their brains have not been deprived of oxygen all night and they've been able to get more energy. And so we have now a combination of melatonin, of our full spectrum, and this actually allows you to get sharper brain, good sleep, and when you wake up in the morning, you are not groggy. Okay? And so this way you can able, those people tend to wake up at night, or people have a hard time going to sleep. This is a perfect product that helps a lot. Now, just a couple quick things when we talk about the gummies. I just talk about people who have problems falling asleep. You want to make certain that you sort of suggest, hey, try a gummy. Anxiety. There are lots of people who are just anxious. What does that mean? That means they're going to a meeting, they're going to meet somebody, or they just get up in the morning and just feel nervous. CBD actually helps calm that down. And so CBD, our not our sleep gummy for this kind of a thing, but our regular either immune CBD or even the tincture could be very helpful for that. Okay, energy, as I mentioned, whether it's early in the morning, late at night, midday, the gummies can be helpful. And one of the things that we like to talk about with CBD is pain. Pain is a major problem. As a matter of fact, I often tell people that of all the people who go to doctors, children go because their parents take them. Men go for only two good reasons. Well, I won't say the good reason. Being a man, I have to say that. For only two good reasons: severe pain or blood. If it's not severe pain or blood, men usually won't go to the doctor. We'll wait to fall out first. Now, women, on the other hand, will go almost at a heartbeat. Oh, I got a mole. Oh, I got an ache. Women, now, to that, women live 10 years longer than men because they get stuff diagnosed early. So we tend to not want to sort of do things early. But pain is one of these things we really want to look at. We know that pain is the inflammation is a major part of it. We know that CBD actually increase adenamide, which is a cannabinoid, because your body actually makes its own cannabinoid. All the cannabinoids are not something you have to take outside. The body actually makes cannabinoids that help you with your pain evaluation, helps you with your mood. CBD, along with works along with THC, with many trials that are being used right now for chronic conditions. So it's been very good. Now, I mentioned earlier about our certificate of analysis. Here's an example of one of our certificate of analysis. This is made not by our company, but by a third party who actually looks at our product line and is actually able to show you that this product has this much CBD. And if you look down for our THC, less than 0.3 of our THC. Okay, so our primary product here is the CBD that does it. We have a set of 3 pain products. One is the cream, which I love a lot. Okay, the second is a roll-on. Okay, has a slightly oil base to it, goes on nicely. And our third is the spray. All 3 of these are very similar in terms of their makeup of CBD, but what they do have is a different method of taking. Some people like to oil, some people like a spray, some people like a roll-on. And so what I say to people is that if you've got aches, pains, I'm one of these people who over the years have a chronic back problem. So because of that, hey, part of my therapy in the morning is I get up, I put CBD on. It's right there with my lotions and creams for the morning because it helps me get through. My wife has pains in her legs at night. She keeps one by her bedside. She wakes up, she just rubs it right on, gets relief. And so you actually find that this can be helpful for people who have those pains that they've decided to just live with, but they don't really have to. There are some people who have chronic headaches. I found that by taking a small amount of CBD and put in the temporal area, it can be helpful. Okay, and so there are things that we can talk to people about, and they can see that using our CBD cream therapy can be helpful. Our spray, which is very similar to the cream, is just a different method of using it. It goes on nicely. It doesn't stain your clothes or anything. And it's been very, very helpful. This is probably one of our hidden secrets. Splash therapy is actually a crystal. Not only is it a crystal, but it's lavender. Now, for those on the line that are our herbal people, they know already that lavender has a natural soothing effect on people. If you use incense or anything, it has a natural effect. And eucalyptus is also a natural healer of the body. And so what we've actually done is taken a combination of lavender and eucalyptus, along with the CBD, and create a salt bath that either you can put on directly or put in your tub, and it actually helps to smooth your body. Remember those receptors I showed you? They're skin receptors also. And so by using the CBD splash therapy, again, it can enhance your bath, your relaxation. Okay. And so our splash therapy has been very helpful for many people, gives that youthful look of your skin, see, and it's able to sort of improve how you live every day. Now, I tell people all the time, Tupac was very, very wise in naming our product Cherish, because we want to cherish our health. We want to cherish our health and help our community. And this is what we look at. Understanding, one, the basis, because people will come at you with a lot of different things. People will come at you and say that, oh, that's just marijuana. It's not good. They have to understand what the history is. They have to understand what happened back in the 30s and the 40s and how the powers that be at that time actually demonized marijuana for economic reasons. They have to know that when you go back and look as far back as Hippocrates, they've been using CBD products to sort of help improve. And that even today at our major universities, from California to Michigan to Florida, they are presently doing research on the advantages of CBD. And so since we did manage to get this through before the drug companies could label it all, we actually have a product that is helpful, that has research and data to prove, and personal experiences to prove that it works. Now, I tell everybody, you can talk about it all you want, but the most important thing is to try it yourself. If you have a pain or an ache, try it. I assure you, you'll get improvement. If you have anxiety and stress, try it. Okay? And what you'll do is you'll see how well these things can be helpful in making your life a better life.